That makes sense, yeah, because I'm about 30 minutes away, so I'll be there a little bit before 9:30. I believe it's 201 Highland Street. It is Bluebird Storage, so I'll have to let you in because it's gated, and it'll be building C.
Okay, so we just got the call. That's what that was. Yeah.
Right before I
Today
left.
is the week we are moving to Charlotte. Ah, it's here. Today is the day that the moving company picks up our stuff. And they gave us this window of time between 8 and 10 in the morning, which the problem with that is we live about probably a 40-minute drive away from the storage unit that they're picking the stuff up from. So Dayton was gonna leave at 8 and just hope, but they just called us and they narrowed down the window to 9:30 to 10, which means he doesn't have to leave quite yet, which is good.
So today, we're moving to pick up stuff from our storage unit. Then I work a couple days, and on Wednesday we pack up our van, so hopefully we show you guys that. From there, we go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and then from there we go to Virginia, and then we arrive at our apartment on Saturday.
This vlog is gonna be really information just about like the moving company and how we're packing and stuff like that. We're happy this week is here because it's just been like, it's been a long few months of just knowing it's coming and just anticipating how it's gonna go. So actually happening is like a good thing at this point. We'll probably see you guys again. Well, actually I won't be there because I'll be watching Ian, but he'll probably see you guys again when we're at the company.
Storage unit.
Yeah, at the storage unit.
I made it to our storage location, just waiting for our full service movers to show up. And so I guess to talk through, why did we pick a full service mover? So when you go to move, there's basically essentially 3 options when I was doing research. One is you rent a truck yourself, you pack it yourself, you drive the truck down. Second is basically you pack a trailer or a truck and a company comes up and drives it away. Or 3, full service, in which you have movers come, pack everything in the truck, they move all your stuff and they drive the truck down. And those kind of progressively get expensive normally, but we chose to do full service movers. One, we didn't want to drive in a separate vehicle going down with Ian. We just knew that'd be hard for just one parent dealing with Ian in the van while we drove down. So that kind of scratched renting our own truck. Second, we need help when we get down there. We're on the 3rd floor. And so Ariel and I by ourselves can't take up a couch, can't move some of our other stuff up there. So that's why we went ahead and just said, hey, you know what, we're selling our house. Let's go ahead and do a full service mover. So then I did some research online, like how do you find one? Essentially, I got a quote from 2 men in a truck and it was like really high off of random. The movers we chose, Safebound Movers, they got on a call with me, they looked at our stuff, gave me an estimate. It was pretty good. And then I had another company trying to do an estimate, but we got COVID, actually I think it was, and it was tricky to schedule and life was hectic. So I was like, you know what, Safebound Moving gets decent moving reviews for a moving company, because obviously there's always edge cases that, they lost stuff or they didn't get it to them. But for the most part, they seem to do okay. Talking with them, they seem to do really good. So I felt comfortable with them. So that's how I decided basically with them. They also offered to take our second vehicle. So we have the van and we have Boris, who is a Kia Rio. And I looked at options with that. Like technically our van is strong enough that it could put a dolly behind the van and you could hook the car to it. But I just thought like driving through New York City with a trailer / car behind me seemed really stressful. So I didn't end up doing that. And didn't go with the moving company because they were slightly more expensive. And again, just tried to do research for companies that seem to do well. And essentially the way that works is these companies that act as brokers. Basically you give them the information like, I want to move this car from this state to this state during this time, and then they reach out to a bunch of different trucking companies. So think of that as semis with car carriers, or even just some guy with a pickup truck with a trailer behind him, right? There's multiple options there. And basically, I work with a broker. The broker finds a carrier that's willing to do it for a price that they quoted at. We're gonna have them pick up the car after we've already moved, just so we know we're down there when they go to deliver it. That's all the logistics that we've gone through. I'm just thankful that today's here. The movers are actually coming. I don't have to worry about when they're picking it up. Just glad that they're here. So I'm in the elevator on the way up. It's about 10 o'clock. The movers have gotten here. So I'm in the storage unit and they're gonna help unpack, or they're gonna do all the unpacking. Truck is huge. Our stuff will definitely fit okay.
I still remember where we were standing when the world stood still. Everything was an open canvas that we could fill, and we're on our way. Come what may, who knows what we're gonna find. I still remember where we were standing, and I always will. You're the feeling in my soul. Every sunrise turns to gold. You're the reason I will never be alone. You are my home.
So it is almost 2 o'clock. That took way longer than I thought it was going to. I don't know why I thought it was going to be done in like an hour and a half, but you know, they arrived at 10 and got done about basically 2. Had quite a bit of paperwork to do, and actually the movers that were here today were Roy's Moving, even though we signed it with Safebound Moving. Basically just asked, they contracted it out essentially because we're up in New England. Safebound Moving's based out of Florida. They were a bunch of nice guys. The crew was really nice, and so I just stayed around, helped keep the door open, but obviously didn't do much. The other thing that I could think took longer is they wrapped everything and taped it, and that was unexpected how much they wrapped and took care of stuff. So, and overall, what we were quoted at, we know maybe went up 1,000 or so, but I was okay with that because we did end up packing more than we originally said and just took some extra packing materials. So overall, I was happy with it and just glad we have that done, and our stuff is on its way out. It's leaving and on its way. Bye, stuff. Well, I also add here real quick, because I just went into the office to officially check out of our storage unit, so that's all taken care of, and I don't keep getting billed for a storage unit that's empty. But I was gonna add one, I had a moment where trying to pay for it by credit card, and it got declined, and I was like, what? I just checked, it's clear, there's enough, you know, credit space on there. And it's just because then I got a text, they thought it was fraud, so I just had to say, no, this is not fraud, and then they ran it again, and we were good. That scared me for a little bit, that I didn't have any way to pay for it. And the other cool thing is I asked when I started just to make sure they were okay with me filming them. Said yes, and so seemed to be the head guy out of the 4 of them. Want to know what the YouTube channel is, so hey, if you're watching, nice working with you guys, and thank you for it, and yeah.
There's a lot of things that couldn't go in the truck that I think we mentioned that this morning that is gonna have to go in our van. We were a wee bit nervous about how much we can fit in our van for Thursday, but if you see, no food or drink can go in the truck. So we got all our medicines here, like medications for Ian, me, and Dayton. Okay, that's not all medicine, like medicine cabinet stuff. This one and this one are food. Actually, this one's food as well. And here's our files. I also have my guitar and my violin and all my computer gear stuff. Also, this is where it starts getting kind of tricky. So Dayton is obviously working full-time from home. We can't just put his work gear, which belongs to Liberty Mutual, in the truck. So we also still have, now the table belongs to my parents. We're just borrowing a card table because we already packed his desk. But like his computers and all of his gear for his home office also has to get packed in the van. And also Ian's bed, his travel high chair, his tent, all that stuff. I just show you that all the stuff that didn't go in the truck is gonna go in the van on Thursday, which that is our next video coming up. So stay tuned for that and wish us luck for getting it into the van all fitted nicely. Hello, it is exactly 1 week later. We are in our apartment, but more to come on that in future videos. I'm not gonna really show you around yet. Originally, I did not close our last video because a week later on Monday is when they were the moving company that you just watched them pick our stuff up. They were supposed to deliver our stuff to our apartment today. And originally, they said, plan on it coming on Monday, but in case something goes wrong or traffic or whatever reasons, you know, that could go wrong, you can also just plan on either Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. So we were praying it would come today, but we were aware that it might not get here till Wednesday. But I'm just gonna kind of go through chronologically and then I'll explain our thoughts on it at the end. We called the moving company that picked up our stuff on Saturday to check to see on timelines because we hadn't heard anything. And they informed us that somebody else was moving our stuff, not them anymore. So we were like, oh, okay, well, all the other companies are closed on Saturday. So we couldn't really contact their offices to ask how it was going. And then, of course, they were closed Sunday as well. So then today is Monday, the day we were expecting it to be delivered. So we call the original company that Safebound, that we hired to move our stuff. And they said, you should have called the first company that we called on Saturday because they're the ones moving it. Which is interesting because they said they weren't moving it on Saturday. So after sheer persistence, because they don't answer their phone, we finally got in touch with them, and they were more on the rude side and just reminded us that legally they have up to 2 weeks to deliver it, and that it might take that because they haven't even left for North Carolina yet. That may be legally true, but it isn't ethically true. And so we tried to communicate that and push back, if you're gonna take later or longer, that's fine, but give us more information, give us calls, communicate better as to why, which by the way, they said they don't have to do and they wouldn't do. So we called the original company again, Safebound, and they're trying to help us now. They've been great. So this is the lesson and our thoughts on this whole turnaround. Is obviously we don't know what we're doing, but we research and look at reviews really well before hiring a company. In retrospect, what we didn't think about is this. When we hired Safebound, which we have loved every interaction we've had with Safebound, they've been great. Safebound is a carrier, but it's also a broker. So in this case, they brokered out the carrying and had another company do the work that they got hired to do, which is pretty normal. But in retrospect, I think we would either one, ask that the company we're hiring be the people carrying it, or two, we would hire a company that does not act like a broker, and if they get hired, they always carry it. And the reason why is we researched Safebound really well, and we've been pleased with our research, and it's all been true, but we never researched this other company that they brokered. We never got to look into that because we didn't get to choose the company. So if we had to do this again, which hopefully we don't ever, because really the only time we would do this kind of service is for such a massive move. If we do a smaller move, we're gonna do it ourselves. If we had to do it again, or if we were giving advice to somebody doing this, I think we would say find a company that doesn't broker out their services. We are a little bit stressed, but thankfully we have a travel crib for Ian and we have an air mattress for us. So we have somewhere to sleep, we just don't have anything else. There's not much we can do in our apartment at the moment, including Dayton's work. So this is the biggest stressor I think that we're feeling at the moment. So Dayton works from home full time. Normally he has a laptop and that connects to 2 monitors, and obviously it's on a desk. He has a lot of phone calls every day in meetings where he's on video and stuff like that. And right now, he really would only be able to work from his laptop on our floor. Today, he decided that he is going to work half a day in our apartment complex clubhouse. So our apartment has this little area that's actually super beautiful and super nice. It has like a little cafe area, it has a gym, it has a pool, it has a little seating area. It's also where the office is, it's all that. So he's actually working in the little cafe area, and that's not a great option for long term. He does private work, he works in IT security, so he doesn't really want to be in a public area for that. And then also he has a lot of meetings where he's on video, and so if he's talking loudly or whatever, like being in a public area is not the best for the type of job he does. So for today, if he's only doing half a day, that works. He can do catch up on his emails, stuff like that. And then while he's doing that, my job is to either go on Facebook Marketplace, or tonight we might go to Goodwill or Habitat for Humanity. I'm gonna do my best to find him a desk and a chair, because if we have a desk, chair, Ian's crib, his travel crib, and then our air mattress, I think we could make it probably a whole month. Well, okay, the kitchen stuff is a problem, but we love going out to eat and there's many options here, so we're making that work as well. We'll give you an update as to when our stuff finally gets here. Eventually, we'll do an apartment tour. There's no point at the moment though, because there's nothing to see except carpets and empty room. But that's okay. We will see you soon. Hopefully that was helpful for our final update. And we are very happy that the road trip is done and that we're here though. Thank you so much for following along on this journey and joining us. And so many people have been messaging me about the trip and how it's going. I appreciate you guys so much. It's not even funny. I am like very thankful for where my channel's at and the community of people that it's connected me to, because a lot of you guys wouldn't even know about like the majority of this move and what we're doing. So I'm really excited that I've been able to bring you guys along. Definitely thankful for you guys, and I'm so thankful that, like, I don't know, I just feel very connected with my community right now as you guys have been following and just asking me questions. So hopefully this update was helpful for you guys who are interested in trying to figure out what's going on too. But until next video, I will see you guys then, and hope you guys have a good day. Bye!